to now adjourn and give the call to the honourable member for Monash.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I won't muck around. I'm here to stop the jabs, end the mandates, protect the kids, tell the truth, my body, my choice. Every day I engage with people who are suffering from vaccine injuries or impacted by COVID mandates. Vaccine-injured Andrew is tormented by excruciating pain 24/7 and after surgery last week is distraught that his life is ruined. Catherine hasn't worked for 2 years and is overwhelmed with depression after having her application for compensation rejected, even though 2 doctors agree her injury was caused by the vaccine. But today I received a video message pleading for help from Dazelle, a beautiful 16-year-old girl who needs a double lung transplant due to the side effects of chemotherapy and surgery. Dazelle has been fighting cancer since she was 13. She's been through several rounds of chemotherapy, ended up on life support and dialysis, and endured a bone marrow transplant which her body rejected. And if that's not horrendous enough, now 2 major hospitals are refusing to do the transplant because she hasn't had any COVID-19 injections. One of the specialists even said Dazelle is a health risk to other patients who were fully jabbed. At first she was told she'd need 2 jabs, but now she's been told she needs 4. 3 up front and a booster in 6 months. But Dazelle doesn't have 6 months to wait. Her medical advisors need to remember they took an oath. First, do no harm, because terrible harm is exactly what they're inflicting on Dazelle and her family by demanding she be jabbed 4 times. For more than 2 years I've been raising the alarm regarding mandates and vaccine injuries. But I don't stand here to be adversarial. COVID has ripped our country apart and we need to start healing as a nation. I appreciate you might think I don't understand how hard it has been for government to make quick decisions around the pandemic whilst incorporating policies on the run. I accept their decisions were made in good faith. But now I plead with my colleagues and those in the House to also act in good faith. Do you think it's okay for Dazelle to be refused life-saving surgery because she hasn't been jabbed? She and her parents aren't anti-vaxxers. Far from it. After her bone marrow transplant, Dazelle had to be revaccinated with all her childhood vaccinations. I know I was fortunate not to be mandated to keep my job. Right from the start, like Dazelle, I was cautious, hesitant about a vaccine that had been developed so quickly. I felt very strongly, and I still do, that it's my body, my choice. That's what Dazelle is asking for too. With TGA database now showing more than 140,000 notifications of adverse events and excess deaths in Australia being 12% above the baseline average, it's well past time we had an open discussion about the safety and effectiveness of these vaccines. Personally, I find it abhorrent that these provisionally approved vaccines were mandated on pregnant women and the parents were encouraged to jab their kids. At the very least, it's time to end the mandates, investigate what's going on. I say to our medical practitioners, it's time to speak up. Do it for Dazelle. I know these past 3 years have been tough for so many medical and health practitioners, and I know many feel conflicted and wrestle with the issue of informed consent. Who can blame them when AFRA threatening to deregulate them if they deviate from the COVID script? So I implore my colleagues here in the House, enough is enough. Please listen to your constituents. People are suffering unimaginable distress. And I've said before, as their elected representatives, the job of fixing this mess rests with us. It's time we remove the shackles of apathy and disconnectedness. We must end the mandate, stop the jabs and keep our kids from harm. I am personally concerned that there are so many out there, as I've said before, crying in the wilderness, that only want to be heard. Yes, there are those who their lives are torn to pieces by these vaccine mandates and the vaccine injuries. And I try to bring them the attention of the government of this day and those ministers that are responsible in these areas. I can only ask that you hear their call. These are not a minority in our community anymore, Mr. Speaker. They're real people. They have real blood just like ours. They bleed like we bleed. And they are really suffering. And there's thousands of them, as has been confirmed by many of my colleagues quite often. So thank you for the opportunity to address the House, Mr Speaker. I do appreciate.
The question is the House do now